I mean, it's a really, really dark day. It's a dark day for women and children in Scotland. This isn't about gender dysphoria, which was, will receive a medical diagnosis. This is about self-identification. So potential sex offenders, which we know exist, and we know that they will use any loopholes they possibly can, because history shows us that, are now able to identify as females and to go into female spaces, whether that's women's changing rooms, whether that's the local swimming pool where they can change next to young girls, whether that's women's toilets. So this isn't about, having an issue with anyone that has genuine gender dysphoria. This is something which is really distressing, and we need to support people that are transgender. However, this is about self-ID and a loophole which will be used by predators.
Because basically what this means is that living in Scotland now under the new rules, if you're above the age of 18, living as a chosen gender for 3 months without any medical diagnosis.
Any medication or any medication. People have the misconception, and obviously my area of expertise is sport, and it's usually sport that I'm talking about, but obviously today it's this particular bill. But in sport, people have the misconception that if someone decides to change gender, decide that they want to be a trans woman when they're biologically male, that they must have some form of surgery. That is not the case. The vast majority, over 95%, do not have any form of surgery whatsoever. Some suppress their testosterone if they want to meet certain guidelines in sport, but many don't even do that. So, biologically, they are 100% male. And sex is binary. There's two gametes, a small one and a large one. We need one of each to reproduce, and whichever sex you are, male or female, including anyone that's DSD, differences of sexual development, you cannot change that biological sex. It will be in every single gene in your body, in your chromosome in your body. And, it has things like bone structure is very different. Like the size of our hips is different because women give birth. So, there's lots of things that affect sport and performance in particular. And these aren't changed just because someone decides to recognize themselves as the opposite sex.
Without absolutely any medical diagnosis whatsoever, 3 months, so you can travel to Scotland, live for 3 months and suddenly come back and, if you're a man, you are a woman. And even though you look like a man, you're physically still a man, you can say legally you are a woman. But this isn't just about women's rights, it's about children's rights as well, isn't it, Sharron? Because, we are now saying that 15-year-olds...
Yeah, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds are not allowed to drink. They're not allowed to vote. They're not allowed to drive a car until they're 17. They're not allowed to go and get a tattoo. It seems strange that they're able to make such a very, very important decision. And puberty is a horrible phase. I don't know about your puberty, but my puberty was awful. I was trying to train 5-6 hours a day, and it was an emotional roller coaster. And it's such a difficult time for young people. And there's no doubt about it that the trans debate is a very contagious one. We've got schools down here. There's a school in Swindon where they have twice the national average. Well, that's not because there's twice as many people in that particular school in Swindon that are transgender. It's a contagious situation as well amongst young people. And they do, a lot of the autistic figures, again, are very, very high. So kids that don't feel that they fit in are sort of finding their way into this group. And then sometimes they're making very big decisions which will affect them for the rest of their life.